But India is going to be the place, I'm convinced, where the 21st century business models are invented, where the business processes and the rapid change is invented. Now, we've made the decision to actually have all of the businesses in India report to a CEO in India versus back to their home CEOs back in America or Europe or elsewhere. It's the only country in the world where we're going to do this, and it's an experiment. What I think it's going to do for us is make us faster, help us learn better, help us experiment with different business models, learn how to combine financing and technology, move more services to India, be a better support of our customer. Now, our benefits in India are going to be profound. TP knows that if he doesn't grow 30% a year for the next 5 years in India, he's in trouble, right? So some of it's there. But some of it is, President Obama wants to reduce cost in healthcare in the United States. I'm not sure we're going to invent that model in the United States. But I think that model might be invented in India. In terms of, instead of having 15 patients go through an MR scanner in a day, how do you get 50 patients through an MR scanner in a day? That's how healthcare costs come down. That's going to be invented here, not there. So what I'm most curious about in India is how to be more agile, how to learn better, how to grow faster. But what are the business models that people like Mukesh are inventing that really can be transported to the rest of the world? And that's how we see India today.
This is your great article in the Harvard Business Review, Reverse Innovation. I don't know how many of you have seen that, but you got to read that because this is exactly what Jeff is talking about. Am I right? Would you like to explain?
No, Trent, I think it's the idea that most American multinationals go through stages of globalization, where we export, where we start to localize, where we build local capability, and ultimately you get to the point where you build local capability, but you can start transporting ideas back to the developed world. And that's what the article, that's what our philosophy really is about. Now, on something like this, quite honestly, the only person in GE who thinks having all the businesses work for a CEO in India, the only person who thinks that's a good idea is me. In other words, everybody else says that's different. It's a dumb idea. We're gonna run the risk of doing things the wrong way. But that's, again, I think one of the elements of globalization, Tarun, is you have to constantly be experimenting. It really is. The world is moving so fast. Things are changing so fast that unless you're trying to move ahead, you're gonna fall behind.
And are you doing that too, Reliance? When you're looking at your business, are you innovating, finding new models of doing business?
Absolutely. I think that I couldn't agree with Jeff more. The opportunity that India has is a large market. Now, with globalization, access to the best in technology and minds in the world. But we've got to have a vision to leapfrog, to make sure what we've done in communications, we are able to repeat in multiple sectors. There's always a danger of falling in the trap of doing what the West did. I think our challenge really is to think about what is next and reach there faster than anybody else. And that's an opportunity. That's the business model that one describes. Because if you really think about the world today, Tarun, right? All through the 90s, early 2000s, I'm sure when you and I, all of us traveled, right, we were all being given homilies in terms of saying, you guys in the emerging economies, you can disturb the world, and you guys have to discipline yourself and look at capital. And see where the biggest crisis, right, came from in the world. It came from the heart of capitalism, came from Wall Street. But nobody ever imagined, right, in my 20 years, that the biggest crisis of our lifetime will come from the center of the United States. Now, the biggest opportunity, right, for us to, and I am again an optimist, so I think that the 21st century, the best is yet to come for everybody, and we will get out of this. But the biggest recovery or the biggest opportunity is really to move growth, right, to the 6 or 7, like if you look at the world's 7 billion, 2 billion are what's called developed or have attained a certain quality of life. There are 5 billion people still who have a long way to go. And that's the opportunity. And if we think about the world as one, that's where we need businesses, government, civil society to work together to really bring everybody up to a certain quality of life. And what that needs is extreme innovation. Right? I mean, we at Reliance have set up, we are fortunate to have people like Dr. Mashelkar, and under him we have set up our Innovation Council, which really collects global thought leaders to think about extreme innovation. And I am a big believer that thought is one thing, it's really action and execution which is important. And what India really offers is a market of 1.2 billion, which is not saturated. A market where we can really put in solutions which are next generation, solutions in power with distributed power. We don't need to follow what was done for the last 50 years. Solutions in energy where we can really leapfrog to cleaner energy, more efficient energy, rather than building the old world stuff that the world's built for 30 years. Solutions in transportation which are next generation. Solutions in urbanization which are next generation. Solutions in water. And this is such a great market. The needs of the people will have to be met. And somebody will do it. And I am quite clear that 20 years from now, we will not talk about garages in Silicon Valley. We will talk about projects in the villages and rural areas in India, which are then scaled all over the world. That's what's going to happen.